Hey y'all. Um, how you guys doing today? Um, whenever I get on here, it's because I'm so drained, and then I'm like, you know what? I just have to step back and kind of like find a way to reset. So today the lesson didn't go to school because I couldn't find my keys. We was dressed ready to go. Well, first of all, I truly believe it's an act of God. Like, I know that it might seem like I put God in everything, but there is no you. There is no me. There is no me without God. Like, and I invite Him in everything I do. So therefore, I have to believe that He is a part of all that goes on in my life. Um, Anybody that knows me knows that I take pride in taking care of Blessing, from the way I dress her to the way I feed her to the way I love her to the way I care for her. It is my pleasure to raise her. It is an honor for God to give me her, and I don't take that lightly. I take that very serious. Um, I take that very serious. So everything I do with compassion when it comes to her, and I'm very serious, or I don't know what the word I'm looking for, on how I care for her in all aspects, right? So I usually take Blessing clothes out on Saturday night for the whole week for school. For some reason, I don't know what was going on. Our weekend was a little different because I didn't have church, which you would think that would help me to be prepared a little better, but it just threw me off. So I was scheduled. Usually I take Blessing here. My mom take Blessing here out Thursdays when she get out of school because she doesn't have school on Fridays. So she usually take Blessing out on Thursdays. I wash her hair on Fridays and do her hair on Saturdays for church, for Sunday, for the rest of the week. But she didn't have school. We didn't. I knew that we wasn't going to church on Sunday because our church was closed. So Thursday I didn't take her hair out. I took her hair out. Did you take her hair? I took her hair out Friday. I washed her hair Saturday, and I did her hair Sunday, which threw off our whole entire routine. So when Sunday came, it took me a little while to do her hair because I wanted to be extra and do a bunch of box braids with affirmation words in all the box braids. So it took me like 2 hours and some change to put the words in the beads together, and then another additional 2-3 hours to do her hair, which with breaks in between. But anyway, so by the time I realized I never took her clothes out for the week, it was like late and I was exhausted. I was tired. I just wanted to get her in bed so I can clean up the whole house so I could get in bed myself. So with that being said, all week I've been winging it on what she's wearing. Blessing have so much. So the problem is not trying to find something because she doesn't have. The problem is trying to find something because she have too much. That's the problem. So Monday was fine. Tuesday was fine. Like, I figured it out. Now, last night I pull out like 7 outfits to try to put together to try to get her ready for school, and try to see what I was gonna put on her. The problem is every outfit I put out, I didn't have a footwear that can go with it. Reason being, sometime at the end of August, Blessing had a growth spur. She was a size 7 in shoes, and by the time the summer, she was a size 7 with room in it. By the time the end of August came, beginning of August, she was fine. I'm gonna say like the end of July, she was fine. Mid-August, like within 2 weeks, like 22 pair of footwear just hurting her feet, right? So now she was going through summer school, and I noticed that it's so hard to notice that if Blessing's shoes is too big, too small for her, or where her feet is at, because she hold her toes like this all the time, like whether the shoes is way bigger or whatever. So I never really know how her shoes fit her. I just kind of like wing it. I try to push her feet down for her toes to spread and touch it. But it was like probably 2 weeks since I had done that because I had noticed that her shoes was fine. So one day I noticed that every time we start walking, she'll take a couple of steps during when we walk into through the hallway to take her to summer school, and she'll come and let me pick her up. So that was like a little weird to me because Blessing loved to run. So one day after school, something told me to take her shoes off to let her feet breathe because she doesn't like having anything on her feet. So I noticed the top of her toe, her big toe was red. And I was just like, so, and I noticed that she had like the big toe, it was like looking little. And then that's when I noticed all her toes. And I was just like, well, she always curl her toes up, so it could have been easy. It could have easily been scraped up like from that. So I went home, tried all her shoes on her feet. I was skeptical about, like, I was really like trying to make sure I look at every shoe. And I realized that some of them were not too small, but her feet was already at the top. And I felt so horrible, like, because I don't know. I felt horrible, like my baby was in school all day and her feet was hurting and she really couldn't say, like, my feet hurt, right? Say hi. Say hi. You say hi? Say hi.
Hi, me.
Good. That's so nice. She said hi, princess. So anyway, I ended up giving away 20 something pairs of shoes. So now, of course, I have to replenish everything I gave away. So I bought her some sneakers within a week or 2 weeks. Those sneakers, her feet was at the top of those sneakers and she didn't even wear them yet. I was just preparing her for when school start. And there was like some of them I had to go right back to the store and exchange them, which was a good thing because I ended up buying an 8 and her feet was all the way at the top of the 8. Like, and some of them, her feet like looked like it was, so I ended up getting an 8.5. And then majority of them I got a 9. Now a 9 is so big on her, right? But it's kind of like she's between, it depends on what kind of shoe it is or what's the brand. Because she have New Balances that her feet is at the top. But then she have 9s that they are way too big for her. Like they are flopping off her feet. Even if I put the things that I bought from Amazon, they still flopping off her feet. So anyway, that's where we are right now. I bought her majority 9s and majority of them are too big for her, like to where she cannot walk with them, right? But most companies or brands, they don't have a half size, right? And then I bought her, and there's some of them that are 8 that fit her, like from some old sneakers that's 8 that fit her with room in them. So I'm just like so confused right now. So anyway, so basically Blessing have all these outfits and a lot of her shoes are too big, so she cannot fit them. So she cannot wear them, right? And like I tell you, I'm very intentional on how I take care of her. Very intentional. So anyway, so I took out 8 outfits last night, right? And I took out 8 outfits, and I'm like, one of them going to have to do. I was exhausted. Blessing had been in the bed since 11 o'clock, and this was around like at 1:30. So 1:30, I'm like, you know what? Let me hurry up and jump in the shower. One of these outfits is gonna have to do tomorrow, well later. Let me jump in the shower because if Blessing doesn't feel me in the bed with her at a certain time, she would get up. So the problem was it was already 1:30. It was like 2 o'clock, almost 2 o'clock. And I knew that it was about the time where she would roll over and kind of look for me and to lay on top of me because that's where Blessing sleep, on top of me. And I gotta wait for her to fall deep in sleep and then to move her. Or she will be up. She would not go to sleep. And Blessing has her own room, but this is our dynamic. It doesn't change. That's how it is. And I've tried. And personally, I kind of have a problem with it, but she ain't hurting nobody. And besides my back, but So anyway, I got out the shower. As soon as I got out the shower, I was about to get dressed. Who gets up? Blessing. Who gets up? Blessing. So, at that time, I lay her on my chest. She falls back asleep. As soon as I was about to fall asleep, it was about now 3 o'clock. Blessing wakes up. She started talking. She stayed up till about 7 in the morning. I tried everything I could. I turned off. I have like a little night light in the room. I turned off the night light. Everything I did. I put the music on that helps her go to sleep. Nothing worked. Turned it off. Nothing works. Right. So yeah. So we was up to 7:30 in the morning. So around 7:30, so when the alarm woke me up at 10 to get myself together, because she doesn't have to be in school till 12 o'clock, woke me up at 10. I usually get myself together, get up, take a shower, get myself dressed, and then and because I knew that I had to iron one of those outfits, I knew I had to, because none of them wasn't ironed. So I had to make a decision and iron one and get her breakfast and stuff and her snacks and stuff together. So I woke up at 10 o'clock. And when I woke up, I just decided, like, I still was struggling which outfit I was going to put on her. And I was exhausted. So I knew she was tired. And everything in me told me to keep her home from school. But I was like, you know what? No. She's going to school. If she's tired, and I would let the teacher know if it's too much, send her home. If not, she'll wing it out. That'll help her, because if I keep her home, she's gonna sleep all day, and that's gonna continue messing up the routine. So let me just get her to school. Whatever she has to do when she get home, she'll be tired. She'll take a nap, and then that will kind of put us back into a schedule. Okay, so finally I finally picked out an outfit. Like, you know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna take anything. Um, got her dressed. Get her dressed. So I got Blessing up. It was like 11 o'clock, because I tried to give her to the latest amount of time that I could. Matter of fact, it was about like 11:15, because I was like 45 minutes. We have to go within 45 minutes because she could be out of school by 12:10. So got her dressed. So now it is 12 on the dot. So now I'm rushing out the house, even though we live like 3 minutes away up the hill from the school. But sometimes we catch the train and the thing come down, and now we'll be late, because that's another additional 3 hours or 3 to 4 minutes before the train go by. So I'm leaving out the door. I goes to look at my keys that's usually hung up by the door. The keys is not there. That's when I remembered the yesterday when I came home. I had to use the toilet. I had to use the restroom. So as soon as we walked the door, I threw the key on the table and I ran in the bathroom. That was the last time I remember I had the key in my hand. So now, as soon as I saw that the key wasn't hung up but where I usually hang it up, I immediately remembered. So I looked on the table, right? Key's not on the table. So I looked on the counter. Key's not on the counter. I'm like, well, I know for a fact the key was on the table. But immediately I'm thinking to myself, Blessing has this entrance with this my keys. She loved my keys. That's the reason what made me put the keys there. Made the little spot for the key. And also, so I went in my room, looked on my dresser, the key's not there. I remember Blessing, all of a sudden she have a great interest in the garbage. So I looked in the garbage. The garbage was like, my other garbage went out last night. So this was new garbage that came. And so it was barely nothing in it, right? So I looked in the garbage, shook it. I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. I looked. I flipped the thing up like that. It wasn't that much garbage. Besides, last night after I threw the garbage out, I realized that three of her food that her trays of food that I make for her, to me it looked like it was ice in it. So I don't like that, because I don't know what frost freeze to burn look like. So whenever I see ice or anything in anything, I just throw it out. So I threw the food out. I dumped the food out the three little trays, and it might have been like something else in the garbage, right? So that was all that was in the garbage, and probably like some tissue or something like that. So, or napkin. So now I'm like, oh my gosh. So now I go to her room. I destroy her room, like knocking all her toys down, everything, looking for the keys. Because it's already 12:05. Knocking the things down, can't find the keys. Looking under my cabinet, looking. So Blessing likes to put her toys inside of the bottom part of the oven. So I pulled the bottom part of the oven, no keys. Like I looked everywhere, no keys. I looked inside of the washing machine where she liked to play, which she doesn't really know how to open it unless I left it open, no keys. She have like a vase that I have a vase. Blessing love to throw her toys in there. I flipped the thing over. A million toys was in there, but no keys. I looked everywhere. I looked under the couch. I looked everywhere. I looked under my bed. And I'm like, she was not in her room really yesterday because she didn't know that her room door was unlocked. Because sometimes I lock her room door. When I don't feel like going through everything Blessing will do to her room, I just bring a couple of toys out and let her play out here. And because the door was closed, she thought that her room was locked, but it wasn't. The door was, she just never went in her room until like late last night when I was trying to get her clothes out. So she didn't have that much time to do all of that. So the room was nice and clean. I don't go to sleep without cleaning her, my entire house. So now I'm like, the only thing I could think about, Blessing must have thrown my keys in the garbage that went out last night. So I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, let me backtrack. So back in May, Blessing picked up a bug at school, and she was sick. She was so sick to the point where she was hospitalized. So then I had a set of key. The hospital lost that key because I got a bad back, and after day 3, my back had went out at the hospital, and they had to move us from one room to the next room because the bed that they had us on was not good for my back. So I could not move at all. So the people at the hospital, the aides and nurses, they moved all my stuff, and somehow my keys got lost. All my keys to my apartment, my car keys. So the keys that I have now was the last set of keys that I had. Now, when I called back then, Nissan told me it was going to be $800 to get me a new key because of the electric around the car, right? So they told me it was going to be $800. The leasing office told me my house key, which is like not a key, is like some type of a knob, a little thing, that was $250 plus my mailbox key, right? So I was lucky enough to have the second set of keys because my husband, her dad had the other spare of the car key, and I got the other 2 keys, right? So this was my last set of keys. And I was just like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I'm really going to have to pay for set of keys, like the whole thing. Like, so that's, I'm doing the calculation. Like, it's no way. I can't afford that right now, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna go check the mail, the garbage room. Maybe they just took a lot of the times they'll take the key, they'll take the garbage and bring it to the garbage room, but they don't expose, they don't put it out yet to the dumpsters. So I changed Blessing clothes, and I got some masks and gloves and said I'm gonna go check to see. The good thing about my garbage is I use pink garbage bags only, so I can distinguish which one is my garbage from just going in there, because most people have white or black garbage bags, right? So I only use pink garbage bags. Girl, I only use pink garbage bags. So I went in the laundry, in the garbage room, clean not one bag of garbage in there. 2 little dumpster thing in there, nothing is in there. Like, it's clean. You can tell they just mopped everything. So I was like, oh my God. So now I'm like, let's go to where the dumpsters are, right? So I goes to where the dumpsters are, and it's like six big dumpsters. Like they kind of like reached right here to me. And when I looked, I seen that only two of them have garbage in it. So I'm like, okay, so either the garbage truck didn't come yet. Clearly, they must have came yesterday, but not today because there's only two garbage. So I'm assuming that whatever garbage was taken out in the building yesterday those was the two dumpsters. So now I call her dad, like, I need you to come get her because I gotta go through this dumpster and I don't want her in right here, right? So then he wasn't able to come right away. So I took Blessing. I sat her on the outside of the thing where I could see her because it's like a gate. And I gave her my phone. I put my mask on her face and I put some gloves on her and I gave her my phone and I put Cocomelon on while I was going through the garbage. I thought I found one of the bags, but I can't tell you if it's the bag from yesterday. I can't. So I dumped it out. Nothing is in there. Like, so I felt disgusted already. If you know me, you already know. You already know. So I came home, came back in the house. So now, Blessing don't want to go back in the house. So she want to run around. And all this time, I'm like, we still got time for her to get her to school. Even if she's 30 minutes late, an hour late, we can get her to school. But it wasn't meant for Blessing to go to school. Like, for whatever reason, whatever was going to happen at school or whatever it is, it wasn't meant for her to not go to school. From the day before yesterday, the night before, I couldn't find no outfits for her. Then she stayed up all night. She was tired. When I was trying to get her dressed, she was so mad, like fighting, kicking. She did not want to go. But I was persistent. I was like, she's going, right? And then the Holy Spirit said, you're going to lose these keys then because you must not be getting what I'm trying to do here. She's not going to school. All right? So now Blessing don't want to go in the house. She want to run around the game room. I'm already feeling dirty, nasty. I want to go back in the house, jump in the shower so I can get myself together. Blessing don't want to go back. We started walking. As soon as we get to the hallway where she see, like, where she can identify where we live, she dropped herself on the floor. She ran. So now she running around the whole entire building. Like, I'm talking about, like, the building we live in a big community. Running around the building, inside of the hallway, but in the building. Like, it took me, like, a good 10 minutes to get to her. Like, not to her. I'm seeing her, but she just keep running. So I'm like, I'm just so overwhelmed. I'm exhausted. I'm already not feeling too well. I'm having a migraine. I'm drained. Like, so finally, we get in the house now. It's like 1:45. Blessing get out of school at 2:45. So me calling even if I would have found, so now 2:45. So I'm like, okay. I jumped in the shower. I'm on my way coming home. I noticed that I had groceries in front of my door. So my girlfriend, she surprised me. She sent us groceries. So now I had to wash up, get myself together, put the groceries up. So now I'm like, you know what, Lord, I get it. I thank you for whatever reason why I couldn't find the keys. Whatever you was trying to protect my baby from, thank you. Because that's crazy how this whole thing went. It was like it wasn't meant for Blessing to go to school from the day before, but I kind of felt like, Dag, it's only the third week of school. I don't want her to miss school. I don't want her to miss a day yet because we got the whole winter and whatever else. Like, this is school, so she suck her fingers, so she most likely will get some type of cold, and that can stop her from going to school. So I didn't want her to miss school so early on in the school year. So I was like, Lord, thank you. Thank you for no matter what I did, you stopped it, you blocked it, and you did not allow us to leave this building. You did not allow us to leave and bring her to school. I thank you, Lord. I said, however, Father, you know I cannot afford getting these keys. So whenever you're ready, please show me where the keys are, because I know that I will find these keys. I get it. I understand that the reason why I've lost the keys or I can't find these keys right now, it's for whatever your purpose and your whatever it was for whatever you already foreseen was gonna happen. So I get that. I'm okay with it. And I thank you, Dad. I thank you that no matter how persistent I was, you blocked it, and to God be the glory. I said, but God, I need those keys. I know I'm going to find those keys because you know the beginning from the end. You know that I can't afford right now to spend $1,000, $1,200 on keys. You know I can't. So, yeah. So, I'm going to find the keys. Preferably before tomorrow because she need to go to school. So, this is what I'm sitting here saying. I'm sitting on the couch and something said, go check the garbage again. Now, I told you I checked the garbage already. So I said, go check the garbage again. So I goes in the garbage, pick it up. I'm like, there's hardly anything in this garbage because the garbage went out last night. And the only thing I remember throwing in there, I don't even remember the food because it was like kind of like paper towel because last night after I wiped down all my glass, I threw those paper towels in there, right? So it was just the paper towel. So when I shook the garbage, it wasn't nothing. I didn't feel I didn't hear nothing, no keys or anything. So I was like, there's no garbage in there. So all of was on top was the paper towels and probably, yeah, it was like the paper towels that was on top. The paper towels that I used to wipe all my tables, my counters and stuff like that, right? So I take my hand, I put it at the bottom. When I take my hand and put the bottom, I felt all the food, right? And I felt something else. So I grabbed whatever I felt. When I grabbed it, the keys was right in there. Yeah. The keys was right in there. So, long story short, I was about to throw out the keys basically because today garbage goes out again. And had I not checked the key for it this last time, I would have definitely put the garbage out at 7 o'clock because I hate garbage. And even if my garbage is not full, every day because I have trash valet, so I don't even have to go put my trash out. All I have to do is open my door and put the trash right there, and they can pick it up. So it makes it very convenient. I do not leave trash, especially if I knew I had food in there. I do not leave trash. So I would have thrown it out. I would have put that garbage out tonight at 7 o'clock. But I found my keys. Found the keys. It was 217 or 221. 217 or 221. I'm so drained. After I got finished, I washed my hand and things, and I just laid here, and I was so exhausted. Like when I say I've been so exhausted, like we took a nap, we woke up, and now I'm looking at my house because I had destroyed the whole entire house looking for these keys. And now I'm just like, I gotta clean this up before the night is over, and it's already 8:22. I'm so drained. And every time I look at the house on how bad I destroyed the house looking for the keys, I feel so overwhelmed that I don't want to do anything. But if you know me, you know that I cannot go to sleep with my house like this. The moral of this story is it goes back to my baby being exceptional. The whole entire time I'm looking for the keys. I keep saying, Blessing, what did you do with mommy keys? What did you do with mommy keys? And she was incapable to even tell me that she had my keys. Maybe she wouldn't have remembered that she threw the key in the garbage. Maybe she would. I don't know. But a typical 3-year-old, I want to believe would have said, Mommy, I was playing with your keys right here. I was playing with your keys right there. Or I had your keys. Or I did play with the keys. Or I threw the keys in the garbage. But I didn't get any of that. I could not get any of that from her. And that goes back to the difficulties, the struggles of raising a nonverbal child. To the point where I was digging in dumpsters, trying to find my keys. The great thing is, All I did was, when we went to the dumpster, all I did was pick up one garbage bag, and then my pink bag was right there, and I just took that pink bag and just flipped it and went like that, and we left out. So it wasn't as bad, but at the end of the day, I was digging in dumpsters. Digging in dumpsters, looking for my keys. It's really a struggle being a exceptional mom, being the mother of an exceptional child. And now I have to go and clean up all this mess that I made. And I knew the key was, like, I'm telling you, that's the first place I looked. Once I looked on a table, and I looked on the counter, and I looked on my dresser, the keys was there, I went straight to the garbage. Because Blessing does that. Every now and again when I'm going to throw the garbage out, I pick it up. One of her toys is in the garbage. She don't throw it in there. Not because she don't want it anymore, because she watched me throw things in the garbage, so now she want to throw things in the garbage. So I knew that was a big possibility. But I just, once I shook the bag and I like shook it and I didn't hear anything, and the bag was damn near empty. I'm gonna put the pictures down. The bags was damn near empty. I just automatically assumed that the key's not in there. I completely forgot that I had threw food, so the food was like holding down like the keys from, like, moving around. Yeah, I'm thinking that the keys was in the garbage outside, and I was thinking that maybe it was another pink bag. The bag that I bust open was like the bag from the day before, and maybe it was another pink bag, but I was not willing to go any further in that dumpster than the second bag. That was it. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to have to come up with this money to get keys and things like that. But long story short, I got my keys. Praise God. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. And I really believe in my gut that it was a purpose for this. It was a reason. God blocked it. And that's how he went about it. And I'm grateful to God. And some might think that, oh, this don't have nothing to do with God. But for me, I feel like it did, because the way everything just played out, from me not being able to, everybody know when it's about blessing, I'm very particular. I'm on point. I'm on schedule. I'm on time when it comes to blessings. So the fact that I could not find an outfit to put on my baby, and we had 8 of them on the bed, and then she stayed up all night long, like, she was tired. I was exhausted. Like, it was everything that was blocking me from not going. I still was persistent. I still was going until the keys was what stopped me. Because by the time I realized that, because like I said, we was leaving out the door, it was 12:05. Now, the latest she can be at school without being late is at 12:10. By the time I would order the Uber to wait for them to come get us, to bring us, it would have been way later. So I couldn't get an Uber, right? Unless I would have taken her myself. I would have rent, like, I don't know, but God blocked it. I'm going to go with that. I feel comfortable with that. I believe that. And whether or not that's what happened for real, I'm grateful. And if that's what really happened, I'd rather be wrong than to be right. And I'm just going to go with the idea that whatever was going to happen, God blocked it, and me and my baby, okay? Mainly my baby, because it was meant for her not to go to school. It wasn't meant for her to go to school today, for whatever reason. And anything can happen, and I'm just thankful that she did not go to school today. And sometimes this is a lesson that sometimes we want something so bad we cannot see past. And when things happen in our lives, we got to trust that, because the word said that he will use all things for our good. All things will come together for our good. I don't even care if it doesn't work for our good. I just like the idea that it comes together. I like the idea that it comes together. But just knowing the fact that he says that He will. It will work. All things will come together for our good. The good, the bad, the ugly. So this whole thing came together for our good. So this is a way to encourage somebody that I'm sure I'm not the only person that have a problem or have a child that, and then this child don't necessarily have to be exceptional. Like this could have happened to any parent, I believe. The only thing was that a 3-year-old will be able to tell you, yeah, I played with your keys. I had your keys. Maybe not remembering when they did with it, but that would let me know. I knew she had my keys because I'm not a person that's messy. My house is always put together. So I'm not like the way I was looking for my keys, you would think I was a nasty person, and I'm not. So, but I was like, Blessed, where's my keys? And she was just playing, like, girl, we going to school. When I finally took her clothes off, she at this point she's having an attitude because now she ready to go. And I'm like, we can't go, baby. You lost mommy keys. And the whole time I was not upset. I was not mad. I was not angry because I felt it in my spirit that this is a work of God. He blocked that. He stopped it. He like because when I think back of how the whole thing is going, like I can't help but to think that God got his hands on this. Like every time something bad happened or something like it's not always the devil. It's not always the enemy. Sometimes God ordained something. Sometimes it's the purpose. Sometimes he will use that for his glory. And sometimes he allowed the enemy to attack you for his glory. You know, so we got the keys. It's hanging on my by my door like it always. I always have it. And now I'm about to go clean up this house. Wish me luck. But Blessing missed her first day of school after the 3rd week of school. I don't like the idea, but I like that better than if something else would have happened to my baby. Till then, be bold, be brave, and most importantly, be blessed.